Another day in the code base. All right. I'm trying out this scaling feature. I really like the retro graphics, so I'm gonna include that as an option for those who want to. The scaling is not working right now because there is some issue with the I think it's either the menu back buffer, width, height. I think there's some sizing issue here. I think this might be it. 15x. That's pretty high res. I think I'm gonna leave the super high res version of this game for the sequel, if there is going to be one. That would be a completely different. Like that would I would want to go into like a hyper real setting, not realistic, but like when graphics are made in a way where they're like hyper real, that would be cool. Okay, so I think right now we're upscaled. I think, yeah. Apply, back. Okay, now what we have to do is go into the player. I think most of these issues are going to be in the screen scaling. We just have to fix that scale and then we're good, I think. This menu back buffer is also completely... Where am I drawing the solar system? Draw solar system. Straight onto the back buffer. Back buffer. Width. Back buffer height. Base scaler. Yeah, so this is all correct, I think. Is it the scaling? Draw solar system. PPFX merged, render target compiled. New RT, width, height. This all looks good to me, but I think there's some place where I'm rendering this and I'm not scaling it up properly. What is BB-rect? BB-rect. Is BB-rect being set again? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Compile. Render depth buffer. Depth buffer is, I think, is also scaled. This is back buffer width and this is being reset here. Okay, so this is called every time we reset screen size. All of this looks fine to me. Oh, maybe it's the dimensions. Is it the dimensions? Let's see. Draw solar system. All right. Rendering dot size. Who's setting this? Screen dot size. Width, height, dimensions. All looks good to me. Dimensions. Where is the scale not being set properly? Because when I start the game, it's fine, right? Like this is perfect. Options, video. Oh, so the draw solar system is fine too. It's just the shader. Solar FX, rendering size, solar FX. This is being drawn on the back buffer. It's just not scaling properly. Alpha blend, draw white, raw time, rendering dot size. This should be the new value. Let's just check 1280720. Really does feel like there is some scaling issue here. DD size by 2, sun pose. This is fine, I think. This is where I draw the stars. Is it this? Render target compiled. Render target tab buffer. It is making a new render target here. Screen resolution is not changed. You know what, let's look at the base scaler real quick. Yo, what's up, man? How's it going? Gun sprite sheet. How's it going? Congratulations. Congratulations. Alright, we have to go in and rescale a lot of stuff. That's good. Spend time with the fam. I'm gonna be here in Thailand. Alright, let's quickly go through all of this. Gun hand. Base scalar update. One second. Man, the translation stuff, yeah, I'm still focused on this right now. When I get to it, I'll let you know. I think we're gonna do just the basic languages first. But yeah, Russian, Ukrainian would be cool. I remember we had some very cool languages in Lovely Planet Remix. The more people can play it, the better. So I am happy to get more. Gun hand. Muzzle position will also change. I have no way to check the translations, but you know what? Like, my games are pretty goofy anyway. It doesn't really matter if they're a little bit off, because there's no dialogue. You know, there's no. I'm not trying to get a bunch of characters to feel a certain way and all of that. So it's fine. So it's all good. I can let it fly. This needs to be set over here. All of these will have to be scaled. No worries at all. This should be easy. I should be able to pull this off. On app event, on resolution changed, placements. All right. One, two, three, four, five. This is risky. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are good because these are in the update. Milliamp 0 is not scaled. Looks funky. Gonna have to test this. Alright, so Hopefully the HUD is also set. Same thing has to happen here. All right. Now hopefully the gun and the knife will scale. We'll now get back to checking why the menu is doing the same thing. And I think they're very good. Yeah. Looks fine to me. Alright, now it's just the solar system. I think that's the only thing that's not working. Is it the size of this texture? Can't be. Draw. What is the size of this texture? Or is this being used anywhere else? No, it's not. This could I could very easily just scale this rather than make a new texture. 320 by 180 in a base scaler, right? That's we're sticking with that. 320, 180, solar texture, scale, origin, scale will be screen.base scaler. This should just work. This should just work. Make it just work. We're upscaled right now. Right. Options. Video. Is the placement of the stars off now? Is it? Solar system, stars, BB size, moon phase stars, BB size by 2, BB size by 2, screen dot back buffer size by 2, and this is updated. Funny. Options, video scale. Okay. Oh, wait a second. Solar system, moon. Underscore moon. Origin. Okay, so the scaling is just, it's not happening right now. Update, sign, angle, BB width. BB width. BB. This should all update because it's in the update. Radial, sign, BB width. All looks good to me, it's just I think it's the scaling that's not happening. We're not storing anything here. There you go. Position radial. Boom. That's your culprit right there. Excuse the sounds. Sometimes they just come out, okay? They just come out. I don't know. Maybe there's like a little bit of like an alien inside me. Okay. On base scaler update, please define this function for me. Can we just simplify this? I'm gonna ask Gemini to simplify this. This could be a cute little if statement. No. You know, by this time I would have already solved the problem. AI. Use AI to write code. Sure, dude. This could just work like this, right? if e dot type is equal to resolution change base update. Yeah, there you go. Is this not what else needs updating here? The scale. Sun scale. You can just do this here. Base scaler. Base scaler. Screen dot base scaler. Moon dot scale. Same. Sun stars. Is there a star scaler here? Star poses. Underscore stars of I dot scale base scaler. Wait, am I setting this scale anywhere? No, I'm not. Setting the scale as is. Cool. Let's see if why are you recording this? Man, this tweet is so cool. I was thinking about this tweet. And some of the accounts on like online are just, I have to like stop and think like maybe, just maybe I am talking to an AI. And I've seen people accuse other accounts of being AI. And I'm just like, you know where this is going, right? Like, we know where this is going. This is very obvious, the direction it is taking, where this is just AI, or your AI will become like a, I don't want to believe this, or I don't have to regard your opinion, or this is just not true, or something like that, right? It'll become a, what's the word for it? Like, it'll become a linguistic kind of jujitsu, where it's just like, bro, that's just AI. And in that, I think there will be this like dynamic that will play out, and I think you can already see it. Like, there are some ideas that are so out there that you would just, the only reaction you would have if it completely rejects your understanding of the world, you'd just be like, I don't believe in all that AI whatever, dude. What a world we live in. So okay, stars are up. Video scale 1, scale 0, scale 1. Yeah, cool. So I can play the game in retro mode. Should we call it retro mode or should we call it low res? We'll think of a name for it. Oh wait, I could play with the wording here. Nowadays games do like up resolution. What's it called? Like in Battlefield, you open it up and you set the settings. It's like you can up res it. The NVIDIA RLLSQQMMA, something like that. What is it called? Let's see. NVIDIA up res. Because like in Battlefield, there's like 4 different upscaling techniques. DLSS versus XCSS versus FSR and more. Deep learning super sampling. Let's go. You know, like that. You know how in when the console wars of the previous age was happening between the Genesis, it was Sega versus Nintendo, and they had I want to say it in American, bash processing. We gotta do something like that. Like a little joke. Instead of NVIDIA, we can just be like NDivia, and we can say DL, deep learning, deep learning super sampling, reinforcement learning super sampling, RLSS. That's such a cool idea. Let's go. Settings, menu, video settings, SCL. This goes to NDivia, RLSS. Okay, and we do a yes no like this. If the scale is 1, then it's yes, otherwise it's no. Okay, scale is greater than 0 is equal to 1. NDivia RLSS, reinforcement learning super sampling. What comes after deep learning and reinforcement learning? Is there any other kind of learning? Quantum? No. Hyperbolic something? Like we gotta make it more fancy, right? Because it's better than deep learning. Like what's a deep learning? Give me a break, dude. Like that's so boring. That's so 2024. NDivia RLSS. Yes. I think by default we can just have it on. They won't have a problem with this, right? Like, is this gonna be a problem? Let's ask my publisher. I'm just gonna take a photo of this. Okay, and I'm gonna ask them, yo, is other copy lefts gonna come at us for this? I just wanna have some fun, man. Because in Lovely Planet, I also had a joke where in the trailer it said 1080p 60 FPS, and it's like a completely like, you know, toon shaded, not realistic game. This has to be in like full caps though. Is this underscore label localizer somewhere? I think I'm doing too lower here. Lowered. Underscore lowered is equal to false. It's gonna be the only menu option with caps on it. Come on, dude. N D R S S. That's enough fun. Let's go back to making the project. Let's just make sure this is set to 1 by default. I'm not using this anywhere. I think we can get rid of it. Don't need an FOV slider. Should we get rid of it? Yes, we will get rid of it. FOV scroll, hold up. FOV scroll. Yeah, this is removed. FOV, 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 FOV. There is no FOV anymore. Removed. Okay, so the stars are scaling now. Okay. So I am loving this mirror feature that we have going. Look at this. Now we've got all the generated levels are tagged with G. All the ones that mirror are tagged with M. All the ones that have that are in the demo will have this D figure here, and I can simply hit the mirror. There's no button, but I can do this. So I go into C like I made a bunch of like, so these rooms, they were not mirrored yet. I only had one piece of each, and now that I've mirrored them, and when I jump into the game, I'm just like, wait, I can't recognize these anymore. So it makes for an interesting. It feels different. So if I go into scene. Whoa. Okay. So all I have to do is add so this is d_tv trick 3. All I have to do is comma hashtag mirror, apply, save. Now if I go into D rooms, right next to it will be, I can go in and check it out, and it's completely broken. So that means I can't flip this level. Why? Because this turn has to flip too. Do you feel? So we have to fix this. I mean, we don't have to fix this. It's pretty limited functionality. I basically wrote that whole thing so that I can take out the so I can take I don't have to manually change all the single section pieces. So let's just see, like if I really want to be able to flip this one right here, let's just pick any, like this one will flip just fine. This one will also flip just fine. So what it does is it ignores these prefabbed ones. It's not lifting those. So those are left untouched. So in the example where which one was it? The one that messed up, I had to pick that one. TP3 trick. Was it trick? Man, I completely lost. Yeah, this one. So the problem with this is that it's going left from here. If it didn't do that, then we would just be fine. We would be just fine. Or it's like not a prefab. If it's not a prefab, then we're good. Technically, like if I just made this go over here up on top, we'd be good. This turn is really just very unnecessary. This could be like its own section over here, like a smaller version of this maybe. And if I just change this, then I can mirror it. So our level count will go up significantly after this. I'm feeling a lot better now about the variety on offer, and I think within the next I have some time, let's just say. Don't want to make any announcements yet. Announcements will happen when the time is right. I have time. Let me just quickly go and check on the laundry. I will be right back. Hi chat, I am back. Let me just get some texts out of the way and then we will resume today's show. Come on, phone, charge. Hi chat, how's it going? I sit down to pee, and I sat down, and when I sit down I usually pull out my phone, and I pulled out my phone and I read a tweet. This tweet really got me thinking. This is the part which I find the most interesting. All of so much of activism and like cultural side taking, political side taking. There's like you can reduce all the language that is in that sphere, in that discourse, and assign a directionality to it, right? I want to say like valence, but like let's call it directionality. It's a vector, it's a point with a direction, right? In which direction it's going, and you can look at the discourse from above, and you would see you would see two organisms around a schism. Does that make sense? Like it's this. Imagine like a lot of agents that are going at each other, and they make this sort of a diagram almost of where the discussion is going. If we could abstract that out, that's what you would get. So when you look at that directionality, right, a lot of it is pointing towards like where the attention is going of the discourse itself. There is some that is going, that is feeding itself, and then there's some that's going through it, right? There is some that's, so in this one it's like in this tweet I think it's the center, right? The idea of the center here. And this mapping is encoded in the language to some extent, right? That's the bit of it which, if there was some way to measure that, right, we would be able to classify like which are we working towards a synthesis, or are we working towards fueling because attention is just this resource that you have to be very mindful of where it's going. And if it's going to back into feeding the same thing, I'm sorry, like you can say things like XYZ about the outgroup, which might be true. It doesn't even matter if it's true or false at this point. It doesn't matter if that directionality is feeding the discourse in a way where the schism survives because of it. I'm just like, wait, okay, like that's not good for everyone. It's almost like the outgroup is now, you are part of the outgroup because like you're both invested in the schism to exist, right? Like what is the outgroup bad narrative if there is no outgroup, right? So it becomes like you're in this tryst almost with the quote unquote other side, right? And it's if there is a synthesis, if any party or any arrangement of the in-group and the out-group, right? Like if you could look at it from above and like see a different organism inside it that was actually invested in transcending the schism, actually arriving at a resolution. But that stance itself is very orthogonal, I feel, to the intergroup uh, dynamic. So I feel like those two are almost like they're in conflict with one another. It's like, you know, when you're an adult and you see two kids fighting, you don't get involved in either. You can see why they're going at each other, right? Like, you can see from above, why is it that they're not getting along, or one kid did one thing and the other kid did the other thing, and they're like in this tussle, right? Because if you were a kid looking at that, you would just kind of, you know, you would not be able to see that. Like, you grow and then you kind of like experience, you see, you know, the minds kind of not being able to do things that bring them out of that friction, right? So language, I feel like, is the way to look at it. So if there is a resolution, if you did that thing and you saw and you identified a dynamic that was actually working to transcend the schism, to arrive at a resolution, that organism would be speaking a different language. Does that make sense? That if that was a body on its own, right, which had a direction that was like point, like, that's why I said through, right, then that thing would be speaking a different language. I think this is like the dark stoa. I think that's about, like, they talk about language grammar fields, right? Like, you can identify organisms inside the linguistic home base of the agent, right? And I would assume you could do that with like a cohort of people, right? Like, if they had a sim cluster which had you know, a set of memeplexes and you know, in group out group kind of like signaling. If you could put all of those in a bucket, you could actually like identify their position in the noosphere and which way they're actually going. And I think that those instruments would be very good to have to like, you know, get a lens on what are we even doing here. I would like that for myself. I want to be able to see that. Like, I feel like you're like, at some level, if you're good at human, you just like figure that out of instinct or something. But that's like, that happens in, you know, like a IRL in person kind of exchange, where you pick up some vibes or something. Online, it's just like, it's so much more difficult, and I think you have to rely on the technology to kind of keep you in a sim cluster where, you know, you're in rhythm with the discussion that you want to have with the people that you're having that discussion with. So when that bubble bursts and you kind of like go out, which I've experienced, it's just like, whoa, I have no idea what I'm talking to anymore. And over there, I think a lot of miscommunication can take place, which I have experienced. So yeah, I'm new to this stuff. Like, I'm not terminally online like the way I have been recently. Like, before, I wouldn't post that much. But what I've realized is that the more you post, and if you're consistent with the place from where you're posting, the mechanism just picks you up, man. It's just like, you go into it almost. That's what it feels like. That's what it has felt like. Like, this tweet, like, I mean, how did this come to me? You know, it just showed up on my For You. It's like, it really does feel like I'm playing this game with the recommender system. It's like we're finding alignment with each other, right? This could all just be a code for, you know, oh, that's like, you know, the AI doing something. I'm just like, man, I'm the AI. I'm the AI. I would personally love to see like some kind of like info dynamics. I think we have the technology for this already. Um, like a new scope. I think like the OMISM cluster has talked about this, um, and I think we already have some tools that do it pretty well. Um, Okay, I might have to bounce. Um, Gotta catch up with IRL humans. Don't want to pass up on this because I spent too much time inside anyway. So, thanks for tuning in, folks. I will catch you all next time. For the health of the world simulation and infinite bliss in the